Hello, welcome to the Maya Toolbelt. This is Michael. Welcome to another how-to video. I thought I would do a how-to demonstration based on the aim constraint video I had done previously. Please click here to look at the aim constraint video. It's pretty detailed, goes over all of the options for constraining one object to aim at another. And so building on that, I thought I would demonstrate a method of animating eyes like on a character to look around using aim constraints. So I'm not going to go create a whole character here, but I'm just going to create a couple eyeballs and show how the setup works. So I'm going to create a polygon sphere for an eyeball, and I'm going to rotate it like this. I'm going to use the pole of the eye, of the sphere I should say, for the pupil. So I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees and move it over here. And I'll go ahead and give it some kind of texture so we can kind of see an eyeball. So really quick, I'm just going to right click on my sphere, go to assign new material. We'll choose a Lambert for now. Lambert 2, and I'll just rename this to eyeball material. And for the color attribute, I'm going to map it with a ramp texture. And for information about materials, I do have an introduction to material video. Click over here and check that out if you'd like while I do this. So the ramp is a procedural texture that Maya comes with, and it's essentially a gradient that you can control the color of. So I'm going to click this little X to get rid of the green gradient, click the circle for the red color and change red to white, and I'll change the blue to black. Okay, and I'll just click in the channel, in the gradient I should say, to create a new selection, make it black as well. Kind of move these boxes together, and I'll create a new one, make it white, like that. So hit the 6 key to turn on texture view and kind of look and see what my sphere is doing. So I'm going to rotate this around, rotate 180 degrees that way. Go back to my ramp here, and we can and the way the ramp has a little defect sometimes where the pole of an object like this, you can see the white there. So just to fix that little defect, I'm going to click down here and make a new black piece of the ramp right there, so that the very bottom sliver of the ramp gradient has a little black right there too. And then that little pole will kind of go away. There we go. So there's my little cartoon eyeball. It kind of looks like Sesame Street Muppet or something. So I have this. I'm going to duplicate it over here. So now I got my two eyes. So we're going to use aim constraints for controlling the eye rotation, so that we can have the eye look around and aim at things. So to do that, I'm going to go to Create Locator, and what the locator is just a simple dummy object that doesn't do anything on its own, but you can assign different things to it. But it's essentially a little crosshair target shape. And I'm going to snap it to the pole of my sphere by holding down the V key and toggling snap to point. So now I've snapped it to the pole of this sphere. You can Control D to duplicate it and snap it, the duplicate, to the pole of the other sphere. So now I have two locators snapped to the points on the eyeball that are the pupils, and then I'll move them out here. So now I have these little targets that the eyes can look at. like so, and then I'll duplicate one of the locators, and I'll grid snap it to the middle between the two eyes. And just to keep things tidy, I'm going to select the two eyes and these two locators that they're looking at, Control G to group. Then I'm going to go to Modify, Center Pivot, and snap that to the grid so that they're nice and centered. Now I have my middle locator that I've created. I'll scale that up and make it larger. I'm going to select my two little locators, hold down Shift and select my larger one, and go to Edit, Parent. So now my larger locator, when I select it, moves the two smaller ones as well. And now I'm going to aim constrain my eyes to the small locators. Let's change the background color so it's a little bit easier to see, hopefully. I'll just hide my grid for now. So I got my three locators here and my two eyes. I'm going to select this locator here and shift select my left eye or right eye, depending on how you look at it. And go to Constrain, Aim, Options, and Edit Reset Settings, and Add. So immediately my eyeball pointed upwards, and that's because we need to change the aim vector. Go into the attributes of my aim constraint, and my eyeball, we want it to aim along the positive y-axis of the eyeball. So instead of a 1 in the x input box of aim vector, change that to 0 and aim vector y to be 1. So now when I move this locator, that eyeball is looking at it. I'll do the same to this one. Select the locator, hold Shift, select that eyeball, constrain, aim, and since we know we want it to be the aim vector to be on the y-axis, we'll go ahead and change that in the options and click Add. So now when I select this little locator and move it, that eyeball moves also. Now the reason why I have this one in the middle is so I don't have to select two locators to move the eyes. I can just select the parent locator and move it like this. And that's a really quick way of setting up aim constraints for the eyeballs of a character or whatever you're working with, so that you can animate this big locator here and change where the eyeballs are looking. Like so. And there you go. So that's using aim constraints to control the rotation of eyeballs. Just a little demonstration. Hope you enjoyed that.